A budget is really a reflection of priorities, isn't it? And we certainly saw the governor's priorities when he came out with his budget, and I think we were all shocked, regardless of party, what that budget said. But there's a real distinction of priorities between this budget as a legislature and the ones the Republicans put out. And while my good friends on the other side of the aisle are very, very well intentioned, they've created a document that doesn't begin to solve the budget and fiscal crisis of the state of Connecticut. Our Republican budget proposal was realistic. Although we wanted to provide more, we cut programs that were important to all of us. We couldn't provide the tax relief all of a sudden that we wanted to. It was a balanced approach. We were honest about the spending cap. We put more money towards our debt service than the governor's budget, the appropriations budget, and the legislature's budget. And while my colleagues here in this chamber may strongly agree or disagree, I believe we dealt fairly with the state employees by making the governor keep his promises of shared sacrifice. Those were the promises that the governor made in 2011, and then we saw again repeated in the updated fiscal note from the Office of Fiscal Analysis in 2013. The reality is, Madam Speaker, that our state employee salaries and benefits take over 30% of our taxpayer resources. Our state employees are hardworking, they're our friends, they're our neighbors. Our Republican proposal in no way was meant to single them out. It simply was to make sure that the governor kept a $900 million promise that he made to every taxpayer in the state of Connecticut in 2011. How can we deal effectively prioritizing taxpayer spending if we ignore the largest beneficiary of our taxpayers' hard-earned dollars? We can't. One, it restores the funding for the Community Investment Act. That's a fund that is so important to so many of our communities all across Connecticut, especially our rural communities. And the other thing it does is it restores funding for our resident state troopers, which is also another important issue for folks all across the Connecticut. And how does it do that? Very simply. We talked earlier about the compound drug savings. We believe there is definitely more to be achieved. And we also do it by limiting the number of deputy commissioners. We have agencies in the state of Connecticut with multiple deputy commissioners, and I believe that the Community Investment Act is so critically important to everybody in Connecticut, and I also believe that our resident state trooper program should be protected and funded. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.